So welcome to this week's video, sort of firmly back onto UK soil, and it's a very dreary couple of days. I think there's been a weather system that's been trapped by the Gulf Stream, and it's been sort of really horrid and grey, no wind for the last sort of 2 or 3 days. It looks as if it's going to be well into next week as well. But today I've got up fairly early, dawn has just gone, and I'm with a view to trying to figure out if there's any roe deer, or how many have been sort of left after at the cull that's taken place here. So if you've followed this channel over the last 2 or 3 years, you know that I've been coming to this local woods. So we have the woods on the left hand side here, sort of 3 to roam woodland with 4 fields adjacent to them. So you've got a footpath, public footpath up through past the woods. So what I'm trying to find out is what the state of the fields are, where the roe deer are likely to come out to feed in the evening. So the intention is to come out this evening, so it's just a bit of a reconnoitre really. So the first field there looks as if it hasn't been ploughed yet, just the remnants of whatever was in there earlier in the year. It appears this second field looks as if it's just been cleared. I think it's probably maize, so I don't think that's going to be something that the roe deer are going to be particularly interested in. It's probably the next field is going to be the one that's worth exploring. So this is one of the entrances and exits that the roe deer take when they're coming out from the woods. No signs at the moment, but yeah, this looks as if a very likely spot. So we've got a fairly young crop, probably a cereal crop I guess. I reckon they're going to be coming out onto this field. There is a high chair that's got some camouflage around. Well, the last time I spoke to a local here, they mentioned it hadn't been culled, the deer hadn't been culled since before COVID. So you can definitely sense that they were getting quite a few of them. I suppose the most that I'd spotted here in one evening was about 13. So there's definitely a conflict with the farmer, so you can see the reason why you would probably want to cull them. But I'm just going to have a walk to the last field here, just to see what crops are going to be in that field. Yeah, so I suspect the best field to set up for this evening is going to be where this young crop is. So yeah, it's just deciding which side we go. You can definitely tell why they've put a high chair here. It's got a good view across the field. But yeah, looks as if this is it. So back this evening and see what comes. You can approach the woods from sort of 2 directions. I elected to come and park the car by the road where the Loddon passes through, and I was hoping on the way back to the car that I would pick up a few birds. It was just lovely to see this grey wagtail bobbing around on the edge of the river. Just before I got to the car, I managed to see this pied wagtail and a flock of long-tailed tits, blue tits. Upon my return in the evening, I suppose I wasn't overly confident, but just before it became dark, 2 young roe deer came out. And I must admit, you can definitely sense that if I have worked out where these deer are likely to come from the woods, then the stalker would certainly have a good idea. It looks as if they were siblings, just make out one being a male. And initially, they were out there for about 15 minutes, and I was wondering whether the mum had been shot. Munkjack was noisily barking behind me. There were certainly quite a few pheasants in the woods, some pens which I don't think they've been used for some time. I haven't seen the gamekeeper here until before COVID. I was sort of hoping that they would work their way toward me over the slight brow of this field. But you can see them here, really alert. I'm uncertain whether they've been obviously here in the shooting. I looked slightly to the left and noticed that a third roe deer had entered the field, looking as if this was the parent. Definitely see that size difference. I'm assuming that they're possibly this year's young, or if not this year's, last year's young. And this was the only 3 that I saw. I managed to go the following night as well. Exactly the same 3 came out in the same spot. But no bucks at this point in time. Hopefully what you find is, as the winter draws on, they tend to group up a little bit more. And I noticed here that once you get to sort of December, January, then they tend to come out slightly more as a group. So I think I'll probably return at that point and just see whether there are any more. So my plan for the sort of 8 weeks or so between now and Christmas is to, first of all, to see if I can drop in here every couple of 3 weeks just to see whether they do group up and there's a slightly more roe deer. Maybe catch up with the short-eared owls, see if I can improve on my bird in flight photography. I'll pop down to the coast to see if I can photograph the bearded tits and also a stand in commemoration. Well, fingers crossed, if they get the weather, nice still days with plenty of sunshine, some of those goals will be met. Well, I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you have, get a big thumbs up, like and subscribe, and as always, it'd be great for you to join me for the next one.